Bad language. So many swear words. Yes, this podcast contains bad language. Be warned.
Yes, indeed. Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Breaking Glass, the Bowie Catalogue. Hi, I'm Mike, and along with my friend Adam, this week we'll be talking about the third album, The Man Who Sold the World. Recorded in 1970, released the same year in the US, but strangely left out of UK circulation till 1971. Taking our hero on a different course from his last album, it's considered by some people to be the first proto-heavy metal album. And if we can give one more string to our hero's bow, then who are we to argue with that? News-wise, there's pretty much nothing has actually happened since we last recorded. So after the wealth of stuff that we had to go through last time, this week there's actually nothing. So we'll skirt over news for now. And just before we get into the main body of the podcast, I'll just flag up a couple of things. Firstly, we had a few recording issues, specifically round about the point we were talking about Black Country Rock. So when you get to that point in the episode, if we seem like we're a little bit agitated and as though we steamroll through Black Country Rock, that's because we've done some wonderful musings and everything, then realised that it wasn't recording, redid it for about another 10 minutes, then realised it wasn't recording again. So, believe me, we did actually talk in-depthly about Black Country Rock, but by the time you actually did it, in which you hear it, we were pretty much fed up of talking about it. So, but nevertheless, Black Country Rock is a great song, so maybe we should all go listen to Black Country Rock now. Excuse me. That was good. Also, just want to flag up what seems to be now one of my frequent brain melts, where I forget a piece of information I actually knew, but in the heat of the moment, I just go. So when we're discussing Canehill Asylum, during discussion about the album covers, I say Spinehill for some reason. So, yeah, I did mean Canehill, I say Spinehill. So, scratch that when you hear it. And as always, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors at Vulturehound magazine. Vulturehound.com keep this show on the air for us. And Vulturehound bring us the best in wrestling, arts and design, TV, film and music, news, reviews and features. In fact, round about the time this show goes live, there'll be a brand new physical version of a magazine, which you can probably find in the Greater London area, or if you're so inclined, you can download it for free online.
So, where are we now? Space Oddity makes quite a name for David Bowie. The album built upon the single itself does middling business, but nonetheless, the single gives him a good name out in the press. By the time he comes to write his next album, he's chosen Tony Visconti as his de facto main producer. He's assembled a brand new team of musicians, he's found himself a new publisher, new influences, and even friends by all accounts, by gum. And he's even gone out and found himself a new wife. And that wife gave him a child. Angie Bowie, her of Celebrity Big Brother fame, would provide David with inspiration for many songs later down the line. I think she will always be remembered particularly for Blackout, but we'll come to that. His son Zoe, who would later rename himself Duncan, would go on to give us Moon. So high five everyone! Originally titled Metrobolist, the album was largely written at Bowie's new home at Haddon Hall. It's there that the infamous album cover of Bowie relaxed on a chaise lounge in his famous man dress, complete with long hair and leather boots, clutching a King of Diamonds playing card was taken. There are no glossy portraits or spaceships shown on the cover. It's Bowie, the odd beat outcast, staring coolly and confidently directly into the camera, surrounded by the antique-looking atmosphere of the Haddon Hall, concerned little with matters of space, and this time focusing more on matters of the earth and of the mind. And before we start, it's worth mentioning, because we forget to mention it in the Vulcan podcast, as we often do, that it was around this time that Bowie, along with his Spiders from Mars lineup, formed the Arnold Corns setup. And they went and recorded early versions of Moon Age Daydream and Hang On To Yourself, which are I'm sure you, the Bowie fan in Curio, would have gone listen to. But if you haven't, they're worth tracking down because particularly Moon Age Daydream is a very much different affair. So with that being said, on with this week's episode. And please, as ever, we haven't cleared up the carpet, so stop looking at it.
Episode 3. I mean, you find us this week at Tewkesbury Farmers Market.
I'm here to find a ripe old piece of rum.
And maybe we'll make more reference to our location than we did when we were in the Kremlin. Which, to be honest, given the exotic locale, it's amazing that we didn't really talk about it.
I know, you were very fortunate to be allowed in for a brief period of time.
I can't help but feel historians and so on might have made more of the opportunity.
Well, you know, we put forward to them what our deal is. We talk about David Bowie. We thought it was odd for the invitation, but they were so insistent.
You're absolutely right.
When Gorbachev, you know, hands you the keys, boys, just pick up after you leave.
Log up when you are done.
Certainly it was a Gorbachev. I'm not going to argue with it.
No, I mean, it was very, very gracious of him, if a little bit incongruous.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to talk about the man who sold the world.
We seem to have gone half cocked here. Hello and welcome.
All right, yeah.
To Breaking Glass, the Bowie Catalogue, episode 3.
Coming to you live from the Tewkesbury Farmers Market. Now, do you want to talk about, very briefly, do you want to canter through the opening ceremony of the Olympics? Because...
well, now when this goes out, it would have been a couple of weeks since...
yeah, so, I mean, wounds will have healed.
Yeah, needless to say, we saw it. We saw it.
That was a thing.
I marvelled at the dancing.
Wasn't there a lot of it?
A lot of dancing.
Yes, and how many times and how many different ways will the BBC find to say, "Ooh, isn't it remarkable what you can do without spending a lot of money?"
Yeah, they're usually, Beijing and London especially, words like wonderful, magnificent, show-stopping, transcendent we use, and this one's like, well, that's nice.
Make do and mend.
Oh, and there's Giselle walking
towards the grandson of the guy who did Go from Ipanema.
What a legacy.
Spellbinding!
Yeah. No, I thought I'd say...
No, I mean...
there's a dude in the plane who's looking really chuffed with himself.
Well, you would be, I mean...
with that moustache.
And Panama hat.
Yeah, a great look.
He's had a strong look, but... it's a look you have to be a certain age and level of swarthiness to pull off.
He didn't look swarthy enough for my liking.
He was swarthier than you'll ever be, my lad.
I know, I'm talking out of place of anger, really.
No, it's hurt, and it's misplaced, and it's not his fault. He was the high point, both literal and figurative, in an otherwise dreadful farce of an opening ceremony.
So we're recording this pretty soon after we recorded the last episode, so there's not actually been any Bowie news to speak of in the last few 24 hours.
Since yesterday.
Yeah, since yesterday. We were
that.
Fingers crossed he's won the Mercury Prize by now. Actually, when they announce the winners, is it probably several weeks away yet?
I don't know.
No idea. Didn't do the research.
I voted. I exercised my democratic right and responsibility as a British citizen, but I did not in any way look at, the small print.
I've not voted. Do you vote? Is that how Mercury's done?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Winning died so you could vote in Mercury.
Oh, to honour their memory.
Emmeline Pankhurst would have voted for Black Star.
No, she strikes me as a Skepta fan.
Yeah.
Skepta lass.
So, The Man Who Sold the World.
Yeah, here we go.
I really like this record.
Yeah, overall.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, and apparently there are reasons for that, lyrically, which we'll come on to, but...
Okay.
So we start off with
the Titanic width of a circle.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
This is the one with an equipped Khalil Gibran, isn't it? Khalil Gibran. Which I had absolutely, until I started genuinely looking into this stuff for this very podcast, and I had been content to assume it was some sort of spell. But apparently it's not magic, it's some Lithuanian artist. Lithuanian American.
Ah.
Absolutely no idea what he did, other than like pictures and that, like them artists do.
Well, that's the artful Bowie coming into play, isn't it? References he what he likes.
Yeah, the cultural magpie that is David.
Everyone, look at the things I've seen.
I've read some books. Yeah, I mean, it's the first, I think, example of a really furious guitar solo.
Yeah, this is the first time he's really just brought electric guitar into play.
And it's Ronson, isn't it?
Yes, it is at this point.
Ronson has joined the party.
Yeah, well, basically the band is pretty much for Spiders, but it's Visconti on bass and not Trevor Boulder.
What I do think about this, given the sort of heaviness of this opening track, it definitely nods at what would come with Ziggy and Aladdin, which is great. But then he does Hunky Dory immediately after.
Yeah, you would think naturally progressing Hunky Dory.
Hunky Dory and this should have swapped places, basically.
Yeah, it really should have.
Because Hunky Dory is quite folky.
Yeah.
In parts.
And got the
jaunty,
jaunty pianos and such.
So that would make more sense nestled immediately after Space
Yeah,
Odyssey.
because this is, and some even call this a proto heavy metal album.
I think, with due course.
Yeah, it is. And those guitars
They're
are
quite
dangerous. Yes.
Talk to me about the front cover.
Well, in fact, there's about 4 versions of it.
Yeah, I mean the one that we all know. Well, certainly the one that I've got is the one where he's lying in his frock.
On the chaise lounge in Haddon Hall.
Now that's got to be a sort of deliberate. Well, I mean, obviously it's provocative, given that this is what 1972.
Oh yeah, that's provocative.
It's my God, it's provoking a response in you right now. But I mean, that again juxtaposed with the, as you just said, thunderous music held within.
Yeah, I actually never really thought about that. It's like, relatively effete.
Yeah, again, that cover would make more sense on Hunky Dory.
Yeah. Well, Hunky Dory's got the Marlene Dietrich look going on.
Yes.
But, yes, Man Who Sold the World cover was definitely meant to be provocative, and I think when he went over to the States to do press for it, he took that dress with him and conducted a lot of interviews in the dress. So, because originally the album cover was supposed to be...
he was a tart, wasn't he?
Yeah. The original cover was supposed to be the cartoon. Outside Spine Hill Asylum. I keep reaching rivals down, really. But you got it's supposed to be an asylum where you got a generic cowboy who's apparently modelled on John Wayne, clutching a gun with his hat coming to pieces with an empty speech bubble. And I can tell you, the speech bubble originally used to say,
Buy my album!
roll up your sleeves and show us your arms. Which the record company thought was a bit too on the nose as a blatant drug reference. So they left it blank.
I assumed it was originally supposed to be arse, and arms was just what they substituted it with. Well, I mean,
show us your arms.
You might as well just I'm the magic bender.
So you wanted a cowboy just to say arse.
Yeah, I mean, he was claiming he was gay around this time.
Well, the cowboy.
No, I think the cowboy's sexuality is his own private business.
But this was also the time when he just married Angie as well.
Oh God, yeah.
So he was a bit. Rumour has it that during the recording of it, that it was pretty much Visconti and Ronson that did the music.
Yeah, because
Bowie was.
I believe the word was canoodling.
Collapsed on the sofa, and then relatively last minute go, "Oh, all right, I'll write you some songs," and they just bashed out the lyrics.
Which is why an approach to recording he would later use to great effect on Tonight.
Oh yeah, but he was canoodling a great deal many more people then.
Yeah, everyone.
Yes. But then later on, Bowie would quite vehemently disputed this, saying, "Really? If you hear, no one writes lyrics like that. No melody changes like me. I didn't write the music."
Yeah, I've seen that. And he also apparently in that same period described the cartoon as really cool.
Yeah.
Which
after
is an
initially
uncharacteristically sort of mundane.
Yeah, that strikes a bit of like
assessment.
yeah, it's alright. Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. And then the later releases would have the, again, using Ziggy phase, just him in that ridiculous kind of Legonier stance, which is a copy I have on vinyl, and was most widely available.
Oh, the sort of knee cocked to the side
Yeah,
stance.
the black and white one. Which I think on vinyl is pretty much the main version you're going to find. I think if you find one with the dress cover, I think that commands quite a lot of money.
This album is worth a pretty penny on vinyl.
Mm.
I mean, I've had a brief look and I can't find one for love nor money.
No. And then you got
for a reasonable price.
Yeah, then you got the German cover, which is the odd, almost Monty Python style one with his head, then some feathers, and then his body's a hand about to flick the world away.
That's the inside of the CD reissue.
Oh, alright, well that's the German
The
original
sort of
cover.
flying hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Gilliam style, yeah.
Yeah. I did not realise that was...
That was a proper album cover, so there's technically 4. God knows why they did that in Germany, but...
Germans love hands.
Ah.
David, we are selling your album and we have issues with the cover. It's flawless, I know.
Beautiful.
I know, you're transported to Hamburg.
Mm. Whilst I'm here in Tewkesbury.
From this delightful farmers market.
Excuse me, I'm just they're about to do an auction for a cow I had my own.
That is a magnificent heifer and I wish you well.
Isn't it fantastic? Look at him! Wow!
Him?
Yeah.
It's a heifer.
Her!
You bull. You oaf! I'm never bringing you to farmers market again.
Oh, they've taken it away from me now.
Yeah, well that's because you don't deserve it.
I've made a clown of myself.
You've made an absolute joke. Of this
Take me away from this
entire
farmer's
operation.
market.
I mean, first you humiliate yourself in the Kremlin.
I thought I composed myself pretty well.
You asked for Coke in your vodka. Now.
In Kremlin, Coke, vodka, you! Huh?
That was something. that was a thing. Now. So this in the same one, it's actual proper rock music.
Yes.
And he claims it's prostitution. And they're whoring themselves and all rock pop musicians are clowns.
Yeah, was he speaking specifically about the move?
I like the move.
Who doesn't like the
I
move?
really like the move. And
Yeah.
you can't
We were jigging away to Fire Brigade yesterday
in the Kremlin.
in the Kremlin.
Well, they love sort of early 60s pop groups.
So what, jet
Beat
lag's going to
combos.
kick in later. I should have had a bit of a day off.
And the fact
I
we've
didn't
got
need this Tewkesbury
directly
farm.
from the Kremlin to Tewkesbury.
Oh God, I need to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so the width of a circle.
It's 2 songs in one.
Essentially, yeah.
I think it's turn around, go back.
Yeah, which I really like that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because it's the beginning of it, the way it fades in. I mean, that riff is gnarly as fuck.
Mm.
And then just the way the acoustic kicks in the back. And then it's full-blown thundering rock song. And then you've got that bridge.
Mm.
And then I really like the that bit.
I'm sorry, for a moment I was transported back to the Kremlin. I thought I was at the site of some sort of Soviet propaganda. Was that about farming and tractors?
Ooh.
All the Madmen. In my opinion, as well as like is about his brother, he's letting his freak flag fly, isn't he? He's aligning himself to the avant-garde,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and this is where he starts kind of referencing his brother coming into play.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then the flutes in it, which I've never been a big fan of,
No.
but they definitely have a slightly unnerving charm to them, almost like childlike, like birds flying around the head kind of thing.
Mm. Like a cartoon.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Like Snagglepuss.
Yeah.
I like the end. I always think is weird because it sounds like it should be saying sane, but I looked at the lyrics and it is Zane. Zane, Zane, Zane. Ooh, Russian.
Yeah.
Which is bollocks.
What does the French part mean?
Well, based on my very sketchy knowledge of French, I thought it meant
dog.
open the dog.
Open the dog.
So I checked with a French teacher I know, and it does mean open the dog, which is nonsense.
Is that a reference to Un Chien Andalou by Dali?
Well, I was wondering whether or not it was like the black dog, but then it probably not. Probably reaching, to be honest.
Possibly.
Yeah, but you would have thought they would have said "Ouvrez le chien noir."
Yeah, and I'm not sure why, but he would end up bringing Zane back for Buddha Suburbia.
Yeah.
Yeah, the outro on
Cobbler Bob.
Yeah, and Cobbler Bob. Yeah, he would bring Zane.
Adam Buxton.
Yeah, and then you got all the themes again of society being mad in a way, and the early shades of 1984 and Diamond Dogs were already creeping in the lyrics.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at what you've said. You've made a very valid point. I am laughing at the idea in Zayd's head when he just thought that he actually believed the Orwell estate would let him do a musical of 1984.
Great idea for a show.
Do you know who I am? I'm David Bowie.
Now, old Georgie boy, did he like a good musical?
I've written.
Did he look like a good musical?
Look at this incredibly stern portraiture. He fought in a civil war. It wasn't even his civil war. Yeah, but I thought maybe I could get Mick Ronson.
I just thought Walter Wiggin was so jaunty.
Sounding out in Paris, London, and space. Yeah, I don't know. That's what.
All the madmen. You think you don't know?
Sorry, I'll come back to the album we're actually on instead of dwelling on Diamond Dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what my own notes mean. I've written Teenage Wildlife ?
Are you talking about the website?
Yes, I am. That's right. Yes, I am.
we both went to get some more just facts on the song.
Yeah.
Wow, there's nary facts on here.
Yeah, I mean, for a moment there, I was thinking, I don't remember how that would link with the song Teenage Wildlife. Are we on now?
We're on now.
Should we do Black Country Rock for the third time?
Let's do Black Country's fucking rock.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to sound spontaneous because this is
right. It sounds
it sounds like T-Rex. He could be taking the piss. He does the vibrato thing that Mark Bowler did when we were kids. We both preferred it to the other songs, possibly down to the riff and the fact that it's very simple.
It'd probably better if we did the whole show like that. Then we could get through it in 5 minutes.
To the point. We like it.
In favour.
It's not complex.
Not without flaws. I do like it though. It's a jammy little jam.
I genuinely like it. I feel like I don't want to talk about it.
It's in and out pretty quick.
Yeah. Much like yourself.
Very good.
Likeable. Short.
I'm only short compared to you bloody oaf.
And the rest of our friends.
I'm of average height for a man, even 6 foot.
For a man in China.
I happen to hang out with men of towering stature, which makes me like a right muggins in comparison.
With your little hands following us around.
I do have tiny hands, that is a thing. Right.
After all,
that's all there is. Track 4.
Which for me made no sense. I mean, I like the song. It was just such a strange one to put in the prompts.
Yeah. Well, we covered that in the last episode.
Or we may not have done.
I'm pretty sure we covered the prompts at length, really.
Will it make the cut? Who can say?
This time I can't tell you.
I mean, certainly with episode 1, I was pretty sure that I knew what was going to make the cut. Yesterday, it's absolute. It's
anyone's guess.
Anyone's guess.
Yeah.
And what insights do you have? I've just written Newly's back in capital letters.
Newly's revenge. But his vocal has, at this time, it's a bit more of a weird despondency to it. Which makes it sound a little bit creepy and got the grim atmosphere created.
Yeah.
I actually really like his vocal in this.
Is it about the fact there's no God again, do you think?
Probably. I didn't really have any notes on the... Well, actually, yeah, when you said we're nobody's children, that sense of urban alienation.
Mm-hmm.
And,
London, yes.
yeah, London boys. They're back again.
Super, and we've all missed them, and we wish them well.
Oh, it's for London boys!
Tremendous. Let's join them.
Yeah, and the first time that he started really incorporating a bit of synth in there as well. But unfortunately it sounds like Jerry Goldsmith's Gremlins score.
That is a reference that I do not get. Do you know, to this day I've never seen Gremlins.
Really?
Yeah. I lived with you for 2 years.
Madness. Yeah, no, I watch it every Christmas.
Never seen... Well, you have a thorough schedule of events every Christmas.
I do,
which
bring
only
in
grows
the festival.
with every new Rocky film.
Oh, they're doing it. I've got to ask Stallone to stop.
My colleague, Michael, it's a Wednesday, isn't it, normally?
Traditionally, yeah.
Traditionally,
It breaks up the week
on a
nicely.
Wednesday, Michael has to watch every Rocky film in chronological order, culminating on whatever's last.
on Christmas Day.
On the Feast of Stephen.
It's my Blue Peter calendar. I watch the Rocky film every week up until Christmas.
That and
Which I'm going to have to alter this year because I've got to bloody go and get Creed.
the entirety of the Super Saiyan saga.
I have not
Dragon Ball Z.
I have knocked that one on the head now. I don't have the time.
Is it
for that
because
anymore.
you don't have the time and because you've started sharing your life with women?
Yeah.
You can just
and
about...
she will not be cool with me watching all of the Saiyan saga.
It's long.
It's I mean, I still get like Rio Bravo and The Big Country in there. A couple of westerns. Don't know why. And then there's about 20 Christmas films I've got to watch now. Some of varying quality.
What I've always enjoyed is the fact that you say it as though it's an imperative.
Almost in position.
There's 20 Christmas films at least I have to watch, because otherwise Christmas doesn't work.
You won't feel the same. If I don't watch Santa Claus the bloody movie, even though I sodding hate that film, it won't feel like Christmas.
As in the Santa Claus the movie that we discussed earlier on,
Just
on our way to Tewkesbury.
Yeah, on the drive up here, when we discovered that David Huddleston had just died.
It's a friend of the podcast, David Huddleston.
May he rest in peace.
It is a weird film.
It starts off as a biography of Santa Claus, and then becomes this weird caper movie set in the 80s, when Santa Claus has only just discovered that people can be homeless!
Or children.
Yeah, with children specifically, like flies over and is like, "You boy, why aren't you with your family on Christmas Eve? It's 1980! You only just discovered this happened!"
Well, interestingly, homelessness was invented in 1979.
Oh, really?
But it only really got going in the 80s. That's when people really took to it.
So it was part of Reagan's plan, along with crack.
Yes. Wasn't crack to control the black community?
That's the theory, yes.
Yes, and what a dynamite theory that is.
Kanye says it, I'm with him.
Kanye, one of the great thinkers of our time.
He did a whole song called Crack Music.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's done a lot of stuff, hasn't he?
I like a bit of Kanye. He's mad as a box of frogs.
I know you do.
And it's fun. He wakes up
The
every
man's a
morning.
lunatic.
He wakes up every morning and goes,
Kanye! What do I do now? Whatever I fucking want!
"You there! I'm going to make a game about my mum going to heaven on a horse!" Sure, Kanye.
I want a suit made entirely of springs!
Stop! To live in his mind for 5 minutes.
I don't know whether or not you could survive at those speeds. It's got a mind like a greased whippet.
Running Gun Blues.
Yes, the funkiest song ever about PTSD.
Yeah, it is just about a guy going around with his crazy guns, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think our hero is in his early 20s here. Like, I think he's right in here about Vietnam in that sort of, it's really bad. But in quite a naive way, which I'm saying we can forgive him for because he's young. It's that sort of, wouldn't it be great if we were all a bit groovy?
Yeah.
Killing people's bad, man.
Well, he's not wrong there.
I mean, no, again,
He hit it on the head.
it's a point that I'm not just saying that we don't need artists for this type of revelation.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Don't we need artists for everything?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't hire a clown to fix a leak in the John.
Yeah, no, I do like the lyrics in this. Like lines like, I promote oblivion and I'll plug a few civilians.
I mean, it's not a bad song.
It's good. I mean,
It's almost as though I was just trying to think of something to say.
right, and he come back to the whole guns thing with Valentine's Day. 40 years later.
Ugh. Excuse me.
Harsh though.
Oh, I'm gasping. Sorry, you were saying something about Valentine's Day.
Well, yeah, you come back to the whole guns kill people thing. Bad guns.
Yeah, guns are bad. Thank God he realised that by his 60s.
Again, a good riff. Lovely riff. Good Ronson.
Yeah, some cracking Ronsons on this.
Cracking Ronson.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think it's very, very catchy. I'd describe it as toe tapping.
Really? I also think it sounds like this one could fit on Hunky Dory, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because especially if you listen to, there's a track that's not on Hunky Dory but was recorded at the same time called Bombers, which did make onto the album. But Running Gun Blues sounds very like they could record it in the same session with Bombers.
Oh, okay.
So that jaunty but with some guitar going on.
Jaunty is a word that we'll be using a lot
When it comes to Hunky Dory,
in next week's
definitely.
show, which I believe... Where's that coming from?
I'm not sure we've quite confirmed it yet.
Yeah, we've got some exciting locales.
Oh yeah. I mean, fuck Tewkesbury and your fucking meat market.
Whoa. Paul Buchanan has made a life here. Don't hate on Tewkesbury. They've been nothing but gracious hosts.
Well, you know, I've had my heifer taken away from me.
Well, it's because you thought it was a boy.
Forgive me if I don't know the difference between a teat or an udder.
Or a penis.
Yes.
That would be the case.
Like I say, I'm not a cow man.
This was one throbbing udder.
One man's throbbing udder is another man's tackle.
This cow appears furious. And driven to distraction by the colour red, as all old cartoons have taught us.
If I've learned one thing from Bugs Bunny,
And I would imagine you've learned much more than one thing.
he's a teacher.
Should we do Save Your Machine?
Yay, Save Your Machine!
Because I happen to know that we both fucking love Save Your Machine.
Yeah!
I mean, I've written here, all I've written for this is utter majestic bobbins. And I think those three words probably sum it up. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, again, starts with a fade in, so it sounds like the track's already been running forever.
Good.
Yeah, good start. And it's just like a crazy little... That riff just sounds like there's some madness going on.
Yeah. And then the plot, do you want to get the lyrics?
Yeah, well, it's almost similar to Signet Committee, in that Signet Committee...
It's definitely similar to that.
As we just discussed yesterday, sorry, on the last episode...
Previously in St. Petersburg.
Realised Signet Committee's almost more of a bit of a young man's rant, but the lyrics make it sound more like an all-seeing figure looking down on the little people. Whereas this time...
An idea he takes to its logical conclusion in Save Your Machine.
Oh yeah, this time it's a big-ass computer that's making the world a better place.
Whose logic stops wars.
Oh yes. But then, as with all things, it all goes a little bit...
It's bored.
It all goes a little bit dystopian, and he starts killing everyone.
I may kill you all is, I think, my favourite lyric.
What's had a scheme for a saviour machine?
It's the logic stop war.
His vocals are almost borderline Vincent Price.
Yeah!
Yes, President Jones.
Yeah, Save Your Machine. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's one of the first times he really starts playing around with his vocals in it. So he starts off in that
creepy Vincent Price. And by the end, he's almost operatic.
Oh, please disagree with me. Ah, it's ace.
I may kill you all.
I may.
Yeah, if I can be bothered.
Oh, I've got a lot on.
That's the real power. He's just toying with us.
I
might do. And then it goes into a riff that blatantly sounds like something Oasis then ripped off.
Oasis.
That
Plagiarists.
I'm sure they lifted that one.
No.
Because everything Oasis have done have been...
100%. Yes, original.
Yeah.
Yes, and they were a great band.
Great band. Did a bird just hit your window? I mean, did a bird just fly into this tent at the meat market?
It's not a meat market.
That's what I'm here for.
You're making it sound like some sort of either a butcher's shop or a whore's convention, which you are insultingly labelling.
Tewkesbury for the whores.
Tewkesbury whore market. I mean, the Safety Machine. At the end of the episode, I don't think it's going to be a massive surprise to realise that's probably my favourite song on the album.
Yeah, perhaps. Let's keep going nonetheless.
Yes. She Shook Me Cold.
Which is a song that I always forget about its actual existence.
It's just about him slutting about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his attempt at doing a Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Even the riff sounds very Jimmy Page.
There's somebody squeezing his
Lemons.
his Brixton lemons.
Actually, I've also got it here. It sounds a little bit like early Alice Cooper. Excuse me.
The Tewkesbury's brews not sitting well.
Oh, it's this Tewkesbury IPA. Ooh, no.
Excuse me. It just made me realise how gasping I am. Alice Cooper then?
Yeah, the vocals sound a little bit vampish and like you say, he's like slutting around. She shouldn't.
I'm just listening to it in my head, and yeah, I think you've got a point. You can imagine.
Early Alice Cooper.
You can imagine him with a snake round his shoulders, just kind of.
All right, girls, I've got this snake here.
Rubbing his Brixton lemons up and down a mic stand.
Brixton lemon.
Lovely Brixton lemon.
It's the first time I think starting to see the early signs of a Ziggy are coming. It's the first time he's going full tilt rock star.
Wait for the circle.
But I think lyrically as well, this kind of has a swagger to it and a bravado.
And it is about knobbing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's out for a bit of knobbing.
It's a bit, as a married man, no less.
Oh, David.
I wonder what Angie thought.
Oh, great.
I mean, no one cares, do they, what she thinks?
No, probably not.
I tell you what, I'd like to read her book,
Yeah, I must get around to it sometime.
but I don't necessarily want to give her any money. So
Might be a PDF you can download of it.
Oh.
I wouldn't, don't want to instigate any illegal activities.
I'm curious to see whether or not my antipathy for her is, as I suspect, solely as a result of being a Bowie fan, and thus anybody that I feel may have wronged him is automatically, because what he needs is definitely me weighing in.
Once he's ready to see.
Go, hey! Back the fuck off, lady! The title track.
Yes.
Question. Why is this song considered the standout? Why is this one like the single?
Well, was it actually a single when it first came out? Did they release it?
I'm just assuming so, because like Lulu covered it and stuff.
She did. Well, yeah, he produced her cover of it. It's actually I really like Lulu's version. I think it's a bit of a banger. Because he did it during the kind of Diamond Dogs phase, so it's a bit more jazzy.
Oh no.
And yeah, of course, the Nirvana cover and all that.
Yes.
Meteor covered it.
At least Nirvana's cover sounds like, it sounds different.
Yeah.
It's not, for example, Bauhaus doing Ziggy.
No, I was going to come to Bauhaus later on, but yes, their brilliant cover of Ziggy Stardust that just sounds like Ziggy Stardust.
You mean that note for note impression?
Yeah. So it's a great song.
It's every bit as brilliant as it was when it was originally recorded.
Yeah, by a different artist.
Years.
Yeah, that's probably...
Which
possible.
is weird, because his voice doesn't sound that much like Bowie the rest of the time.
No. And Bauhaus are a band I'm very well disposed to. But I just think that's one of the most pointless covers I've ever heard.
I mean, I know it's the hit, but Bela Lugosi's Dead is fucking ace. Yeah, great song. No, Man Who Sold the World is good, but I was just wondering, do you think is there any weight to the argument that it's probably something to do with its length? I mean...
Well, all the songs on here are around about the 3.5 minute mark.
All of them.
Apart from It for the Circle.
Yeah,
which is,
epic.
Yeah, it's an 8-9 minute thing. I don't know, maybe it's because it's more... It has that kind of calypso melody, that weird... You've got like...
With the calypso beats.
Calypso beat. You've got... What are they called? The... used to have them like music classes, the things shaped like fish, and you'd scrape it. You know, a little stick. It goes through it. One of those things. Do you know what it's called? The actual term for it?
No, it looks like cheese grater.
Yeah, the thing that's like a cheese grater.
Yeah.
That's used throughout. Good research there by me.
Yeah,
and then you've got like the...
I'm sorry, listeners. I'd like to apologise for being quiet. I am entranced by Michael's mime. It's like watching somebody on Saturday Kitchen. And then you take the cheese grater, just like that, just down like that, and all the scales will just fall away.
Yeah, good tip. Yeah, and then you've got the
Go on.
the Black Paul Pier style organ in the background as well.
The Reggie Dixon special.
Yeah. The Organist Presents. Oh, fuck off. Fucking Organist Presents.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that?
No.
It's a Radio 2 show that's been on for about the length of time. And it's on for like half an hour every week.
Radio 2? Sounds more like a Radio 4 job.
No, it's Radio 2.
I don't doubt you.
It's to appeal to the many 70 plus listeners they have. Because everyone loves a bit of pure organ music. It's the most depressing music in the world. Even though it's supposed to be the most happy sounding, it just makes you feel just like, oh my god, I'm going to die here.
I just realised I think I actually have some.
Oh, feel free not to put it on.
No, I actually have to.
Ugh.
Joan Armour trading? No.
No, she didn't really have many organs.
So sorry, I'm now distinctly curious.
I mean, it's amazing you brought your vinyl collection here to Tewkesbury.
I know, right? I'm just leafing through here in Tewkesbury. I've got no idea why I'm doing this, you know. I'm just...
Yeah, just... Get back for task at hand.
Yeah, alright, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Came in tranced by your vinyl.
I did, yeah, here in Tewkesbury.
So do you not think it stands above the rest of the album then, Man Who Sold the World?
Not necessarily.
I think it sounds a bit different from everything else in the rest of the album.
Yeah, in that way, it reminds me of Space Oddity. Not. I think partially those things are linked in my head because they get sandwiched together in compilations.
Yeah.
Like in the Best of Bowie one, they're one after the other. They're the only two refugees from the albums they're from that ever make it.
Yeah.
And I know that was the theme of that article you wrote in Vulture Hound magazine.
Nicely done.
Thanks. When you were talking about the great underrated ones. Did anything from this album make it?
I honestly can't remember now. I may have put...
I would have thought Black Country Road.
No, I think if I did include one, it would have been Superman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Superman.
Interesting. Why?
Because no one ever talks about it, and I think it's an absolute banger. And MASH.
I'm sorry, I was just letting that land. I was just giving that particular quip the space it deserved. It really needed to breathe.
Oddity it needed.
Ugh. 2 in as many minutes.
You're welcome.
You are a man of breathtaking talent and ambition.
Is there anything else with Man Who Sold the
Man Who Sold the World? We've done Lulu.
We covered Lulu.
And
There's actually a version by Ed Cooper I've discovered, which I'd like to find out.
Who's Ed Cooper?
Ed Cooper, he Australian musician. He's done some touring and work with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Oh, who hasn't?
He also did a blinding version of a Kinks song.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last of a long Distant Steam Trains? Once again, a title I have completely misread.
That's what you essentially made up.
Grania, it sounds like a made up title, but it's pretty close to that.
Last of the long distance steam trains.
I
tell you what made for great listening yesterday, Mike, was listening to you Google something. So why don't we recreate that magical moment?
No, I can't spoil you all like that. Not in so many weeks.
One magical moment.
Right, getting ahead of yourself there.
Yeah.
Right, well, Man Outside the World is pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
Pretty bloody great.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So what's your beef with it?
I haven't got one. I just think, I wonder why it is the song when I think, there are others. Why is it the one that always survives?
In a weird way, I think part of what comes down to it is it's a cool sounding title.
Yeah.
I think partly would be it. It just sounds cool to say,
mean
I'm the
anything,
man
does
who
it?
solved the world.
Doesn't mean anything.
No.
But it sounds good, doesn't it?
Do most of his lyrics really mean that much?
Yes!
To you, to me, and the world.
Thank you, Tony Hadley.
Yes, thank you, Tony.
Get out of the VIP area. It's not bothering you.
You are not
Stop bothering Simon Mayo.
Sorry, Simon. Love the show.
Hello to you. Yeah, I think you might have hit the nail on the head. It does just sound a lot cooler than...
Oh, my jingle.
After All is a forgettable song type.
Yeah, and She Shook Me Cold is just...
Well, again, it's that sort of Mott the Hoople,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin-y, like riff-heavy songs about shagging.
Actually, we haven't mentioned the riff of Man Outside the World, which is...
It's not as heavy as the others.
It's a beast of a catchy tune, though.
Mm.
It's a real... It gets in your head.
Why don't you mime again? Great stuff. Wow.
Miming up a freaking storm over here. Remember we said in the first episode, who gives a shit about mime? You know what, I'm coming around to it.
Yeah, well...
Because I'm finding I'm pretty bloody good at it.
You are.
Not self-taught as well.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, I thought that smacked of Lindsay Kemp.
No, I don't need any. All goes in here.
All natural.
All in my bonds.
So what I do is I think about how people do a thing and then I do it without the thing.
And then I replicate that without actually touching
without
anything.
actually using a thing.
Yeah, I don't come into contact. That's very important. You can't actually touch anything.
No. I mean, lesson one about miming.
It's almost like mime is creating an illusion of objects around you.
You're not really supposed to use props. So...
No, well, it defeats our purpose then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You may as well just be a ponce on a stage.
I mean, I'm not actually in a glass box. And yet, through the gift of my mime, you, the punter, or Joe Public, are transported to a world where I may well be concealed within glass.
Because people being trapped in boxes is a real concern. And I don't think this government is really looking into it.
I know.
It's only the mimes who are going to save us from this.
Yeah.
Bring it some social awareness.
Ironically, it's only the mimes that are speaking out on this subject.
I know, yeah. It's a tragic irony.
You're welcome.
I would say let that one land, but that's pretty good.
I was very pleased with it.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, as it formed in my head, going, I've got a blinding mime joke.
I think that's just put a full stop in that.
Well done. You've just ended what was a perfectly pleasant little riff.
Yeah. Superman, then.
Yeah, alright, Superman. It is good.
It's fantastic. There is a legend. I'm not sure it's true, but there was word went around that Jimmy Page actually did come up with the riff for this one.
I can see that.
Yeah. But you've still got the Ronson touches in there, like what do they call it? I'm miming again. That when it goes.
If you were considering purchasing the album, there's no need.
I'll sing it all for you.
I'll
Send in
sing
your
all the
requests.
parts. And I've got written the drums on this in the beginning are
Drums are
really
huge.
heavy.
Yeah.
Massive drums.
It's almost like they've got just timpanis everywhere.
I can never hear that word without thinking of that old Goons record. And now, Mr. Peter Sellers will read the soliloquy from Hamlet, accompanied by Henry Seacombe on the timpani. Or the other. No, it's the other way around. Irrelevant.
We're off on a tangent again.
Yeah. No, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Weird pronunciation.
Which part?
Giant to life. Cries is all I've written here. I've not given myself a lot to work with.
Yeah.
I was reliant on my memory filling in the blanks.
Which is ironic because back on 30th Century Man, he mocks Scott Walker's delivery of a certain line. He goes, in disgust.
Yeah.
He's a bit guilty of that himself.
Oh,
dear David.
Dear David is absolutely guilty of that. In a brilliant way.
So it's kind of a sibling track to Man Who Sold the World and Saviour Machine, because again you've got this crazed, deranged vocal, and it's again about despotic future.
Same themes.
Yeah, it's very similar to Saviour Machine in a way, and it's not light on its Nazi imagery either.
No. And it's that imagery that leads me to think that it, apart from the heaviness of it, it would work on Hunky Dory.
Mm. Yeah, actually the note I have here is the vocals almost seem like they were recorded without even hearing the music.
Oh.
So almost like the vocals kind of just sit on top of the music without really, it doesn't feel like it was done live, all in one take.
That's apparently how the Smiths used to record, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, Johnny Marr would write the music and Morrissey would write lyrics.
Were they ever actually in the same room together?
They would do that independently and then just try and fit them together. Which you can sort of hear.
Hmm.
There's a guy called Rob Young who, writing in Uncut, has an interesting view on this album.
Yeah.
He, broadly speaking, says that this is the point. This album represents the moment in his career where he has decided to stop writing about himself.
Mm.
And he starts experimenting with different voices and
There's definitely
masks and so
experimentation on it, yeah.
Like, he takes on personas.
Yeah.
And this is the point at which he decides that works better for him than I'm David from London.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, is that David of the London Boys is dead and gone.
He's dead.
He's thankfully gone the way of this cow over here that just tragically died at the meat market. It's a great scandal.
It's not just a meat market. Look over there. There's arts and crafts. There's cheeses.
What was a WIK table?
There's a rural cider mill. Well, the produce of the cider mill in itself is elsewhere.
PR for Tewkesbury Meat Market.
I would be incredibly interested in talking to representatives of Tewkesbury.
Friend of the podcast, Tewkesbury.
Friend of the podcast, Tewkesbury. We think very well of you. More than happy to talk you up in future.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's absolutely true that we have spoken about you more than we have our actual sponsor, which is Vulturehound magazine. That's Vulturehound magazine.
Vulturehound.com or .co.uk. You'll find it either way.
Available in Tewkesbury, or indeed anywhere on the internet.
We'll send Tewkesbury a copy.
All of Tewkesbury.
All of Tewkesbury will get a copy. So yeah, then Supermen ends with some blinding drums.
Mm.
And then it's kind of quite a chilling way to end things on.
Yes.
You've got those very haunting, as I've already done, ah, that's kind of creepy.
Mm.
It's as a rock song goes, it's quite a haunting little ditty.
Yeah, it's a belter though.
Oh, it's a fucking belter.
It's an absolute glam rock stomper, this record.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing.
As we said, proto heavy metal as well. Just
Definitely.
such a heavy guitar.
I don't really know why it isn't more kindly thought of. I think it's really
people
love the album.
tend to start thinking from Hunky Dory onwards, and
You mean your mum?
yeah, and then he finished just 2 albums later.
It's great. His entire career is Hunky Dory and Ziggy.
Yeah.
And
The day he stood on that Hammersmith stage and said, "We're never performing again," he died.
and then I've lost interest.
Yep. Did nothing of worth after that.
It's incredible. That is an incredible opinion.
It's an opinion.
It is. It's not one I agree with in any way. I know that I've already said to your mum into her face.
Yeah, you nearly came to blows with it.
I was desperately grappling with my manners because I think very highly of your mother.
And she.
But you're wrong! What about Lodger?
That's probably not the best one to throw out there.
African Nine Flies.
Yeah.
It's so accessible.
Love me a bit of Cricket Menace.
That's such a great...
Anyway, what comes of that?
Cricket Menace is the subplot of The Exorcist 2.
It's Locust Menace.
They're basically the same, aren't they? Yeah. It's a great record and it deserves to be more fondly regarded in the canon.
Yeah, it should appear on more best of lists and such, and more
Well, that's
traction
what I mean. It should be more than just the title track.
Yeah.
Because it's great.
I would say I think Supermen is probably my track of the album.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. What's your track of the album? And B, The Great Game. Which shows us where he's going next.
Well, I'll go with Running Gun Blues. Musically, I think it's the closest to Hunky Dory sounding.
Thematically?
No, not thematically, because on Hunky Dory he's still very engorged in the whole despair of the mind and society vibe. So in
As
terms
well as loving his son.
yeah, you got a few stopovers.
And reading quite a lot of Nietzsche.
Yeah. It's almost like someone listened to David, I just listened to Man Inside the World. You've got some interesting views on it. Have you ever heard of Nietzsche? No, I've not.
It's like that bit in the Carpenters film where somebody says to her, "You look a bit fat."
Oh, that's what they refer to in entertainment as the chubby
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Have you read any Nietzsche? No, I can't say I have, no.
Camera pans in, you can hear the tinkling of life on Mars starting to happen.
I've just been writing about my Brixton Lemons.
Say what you see, say what you see.
For me, it's Saviour Machine.
That would be my close second.
I know it's silly.
Oh no, it's a terrifically silly track, but it's brilliant.
I mean, I think, it's just so good, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Are there any tracks on the album you could live without?
I'm not 100% sold on After All.
Hmm.
I think it's a very strange thing.
I like its strangeness. I think for me it would be Shook Me Cold purely because, as I said, it's a track I even forget exists.
It's this album's Janine. It's a throwaway song that anybody could have done.
Yeah.
You take, say, Width of a Circle or the title track or the Superman or especially Saviour Machine, and it absolutely sounds like our hero. She Shook Me Cold. You
Could be given to anyone to
give
bash
it to
out.
Ian Hunter, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I always thought All the Young Dudes just sounds like David Bowie.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, for years, before, when I was a kid, I used to hear it on the radio and assumed it was. Because it sounds exactly like him. Even Ian Hunter's even singing like him.
I do prefer Bowie's version though.
Why?
Well, it's very similar sounding, but I just like his vocal on it better.
He's got a better voice.
Yeah, it does.
He can certainly do a lot more with his voice than a lot of his contemporaries can.
Yeah.
Like Rod Stewart can only do that Rod Stewart thing.
Cracking voice though.
Yes, it's a cracking voice that led
A million women.
led my girlfriend to hear him on the radio the other day and go, "Who's this guy and why is he trying to sound like the Stereophonics?"
She wants working on it.
I know. Yes, that's what he's doing.
Oh. Need to have words with her.
I mean,
I hope you reprimanded her strongly.
And the strongest point. Well, no, I was laughing. To be fair, I've also learned that it doesn't do well for me, does it? I don't come out of that well if I do reprimand. Do you with yours?
Yes, it's the
You
strongest possible
rule with a
term.
rod of iron, do you?
Yes. We say Bowie in this house, not Bowie.
That's because one of those is right and one of them is wrong.
Yes.
It's supposed to rhyme with something.
Anyway, I think that wraps it up for the man who sold the world.
Should we listen to Save Your Machine?
Let's go do that.
Yeah, it's track 6, isn't it?
But we'll have to say goodbye to the meat market first.
Oh, yes, farewell from here in the heart of Tewkesbury.
Here in Tewkesbury. And remember, if you want to get in touch with us for any reason, God knows why, please more than welcome to. You can email us at breakingglasspod@gmail.com.
Yes.
You can.
We would have read more feedback, but of course we used up both pieces of feedback.
Yeah, still
yesterday.
waiting. The inbox is looking a little bit dusty at the moment. Facebook us at facebook.com/breakingglasspod. And then for Twitter, we're at breakingglasspc. I think that wraps up the socials.
PC?
I couldn't fit Breaking Glass Pod in the username.
So why PC?
Podcast.
Oh, not personal computer.
No.
Which is what I assumed.
And many more will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent.
Maybe I should have gone with D, because pod.
It sounds like peed.
Okay, there you go. We've gone with PC. Breaking Glass PC.
I suppose the point is that is what it is.
That's what it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Please do give us a shout for anything. Obviously not if you need help with your shopping or anything like that, but anything related to podcast business.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thoughts, opinions about the records we're going to discuss. Obviously, next week or whenever, we're going to be in an exotic locale discussing Hunky Dory, which for many people is where the journey begins, and where for your mother the journey almost ends. So,
in and out.
It's a quick journey. Bye-bye.
We'll see you then. Bye!
And there is the man who solved the world. Thank you so much for joining us again, and please do come back next time when, as we say, we are going to talk about the Zenith album, in my mother's eyes, Hunky Dory. And we've already recorded it, actually. I can tell you it's an absolute blinder. Just leaves me to say thank you again to Jock Norton from Puppy for the music played throughout the show. I had the pleasure of going to see Puppy last week play their EP launch show at the Black Heart in London, along with Eat Me in Big Spring, on one of the hottest days of the year, in a lovely small sweaty room with silly string going everywhere, absolutely packed out. It was a crazy show. So their new EP Volume 2 is available now. Please do go check it out, it's absolutely incredible. Anyway, we'll see you next time, Funky Dory. Ta-ra!